What's going on, brother?
I don't care what Chase says. That song always gets me moving.
What do you mean? I like that song. What'd Chase say about that song?
He's redone it with a different song before.
Tell him haters gonna hate. That's what I would say.
I
hope he comes around here tonight so I can be like, haters gonna hate. Haters always gonna hate about something. Haters always got something to hate about. Is what we're doing today. How you been doing, man?
Good.
You sure? Because like we were talking backstage, I didn't feel like you were like doing that great. You felt like maybe you were a little down about something.
No, well, it's probably partially because I just realized I forgot to bring my mic over, so it's not sitting right in front of me this time.
What do you mean? You forgot to do what?
I gotta get a mic that's on a boom, make it a lot easier. But I forgot to move my mic right in front of me this time because I was slacking and jamming out to some music before we got on.
Oh, you got to do like what I've been doing with this thing.
Keep shutting it off.
Yeah, where you can just like move it right in front of you and stuff. And that way, you don't have to like your voice sounds all deeper and stuff. I have my brother accused me one time of voice changing my my microphone. He's like, "What software are you using to make your voice that deep?" I was like, "I don't make it any software. What's wrong with you?" He said, "Your voice is not that deep." I said, "It is too."
No, your voice always sounds a little different, especially one. There's 3 stages of that because what you hear through your own ears are different than what other people hear, and then you got what other people hear, and then I always feel your voice sounds different going through the microphone or a phone or something of that nature.
I think that it does, but this is what I think. Okay, so hear me out. It's kind of like the mirror, right? And so when you look in the mirror, right? Have you ever noticed that your pictures are different than when you look in the mirror?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you look in the mirror, that's how you see yourself. When you take a picture, that's how the rest of the world sees you. Right. So that's the difference of the two, right? When we look in a mirror, we have a perception of ourselves. When you take the picture, that's the perception everyone else has of you. So I think the same thing is with your voice. When you hear your voice, you have a way that it sounds. But when your voice is recorded, you're like, that doesn't sound like me. Oh, no. That's how everybody else hears your voice. Right. So you hear it one way, everyone else is hearing it different.
Now, when you're editing, you kind of get used to, okay, that must be what my voice sounds like.
Yes.
And, I'll just suck it up.
Yes. 100%. So we were backstage and we kind of started to talk about like we were talking about somebody reached out
my pile over here.
Somebody reached out to me on Instagram, and that's what I was going to talk about, your pile. Somebody reached out to me on Instagram not too long ago because look, let's be honest, we've been in this game for a really long time now. I mean, 2019 or 2018 is how long we've been in this game. And somebody asked me, they said, "Do you really think Funko's in trouble?" I don't think Funko's in trouble. I just about know Funko is in trouble at this point. And you were saying that that they're in trouble based on the fact that they're now selling Funko exclusives where?
Oh yeah, I saw in today they and I had to watch a couple different things because I think maybe somebody planted something. No, it's actually real. Funko exclusive pops. Funko exclusive pops that can only be purchased typically from Funko website themselves.
Right.
are being sold at Ross for
Oh, you know
$5.99.
that's not true. You know somebody took that to Ross and put it on the shelf and then took the picture of it. Come on, man.
No, there's been
I just
multiple
about
sightings all over the
I just
country.
about hate that too when people are like, somebody took the time to walk it in there and take the picture with it on. Oh, come on, man.
All right,
Come
so
on.
I wouldn't have believed it as
Right.
much until I saw it on Diz Tracker's website.
Look, I believe you. I believe that they've had NFTs. Here's why I'm going to say that I know Funko's in trouble. I've been into some kind of entrepreneurship most of my life. I've been involved in direct family members that own companies. I have ran fairly large companies. I mean, like 1,000+ employees. um, I feel like I have a little bit of knowledge, like when it comes to companies and what's going on. Maybe not so much like fine-tuned detail,
Mhm.
but the overall what's going on. And I looked at Funko, I think it was 6 months ago. It might not have been that long. You can go find the video. I put it up there that Funko is doomed, or it's something to that effect, some kind of clickbaity title I put on there. And it really wasn't clickbait. It was just me being honest, but it was some kind of clickbaity title. Um, their burn rate, and burn rate is the amount of money they're spending. So the amount of money that they're spending is greater than the amount of money that they're bringing in with no foreseeable end. With no foreseeable end in sight. They've done nothing to fix it. They haven't sold any buildings, they haven't downsized, they haven't done anything to foreseeably fix the problem of their burn rate. They just continue to go as they go with a burn rate that's higher than the money that's coming in. And I don't mean like a few dollars higher, because most companies have a burn rate that's slightly higher than the money that they're bringing in, but then they get more investors and they keep their stock prices going up. It's kind of a shell game
Well,
at that point.
at the same time, you think from some news that did happen this week that maybe they're finally, getting smart about it. But no, you got to read between the lines because we just had this get posted up this week
I
where
This is garbage though, and I made a
the
video about this.
the CEO, Funko CEO, president, whatever you want to call him,
Yes.
has of course stepped down as of I believe the end of the month. Or sorry, March 31st. He officially steps down. However, they need to completely move on from this guy because this guy is tanked
All
Funko
right.
nonetheless. But they're keeping him on the board of
Yes.
directors.
Yes. That's
Which
the problem. That's the problem with Funko.
what's the point?
So
Just keep him in there. Then.
I can tell you the point. The point is they've gotten into some legal trouble that they continue to get in, and to justify to the board and to not necessarily to the board, but to the outside world, to justify them getting more money and getting more investors and getting more stuff, they tell these people that you have to resign, but they keep them on the board as a board member. Right? That's garbage. That's the worst way I've ever heard of doing business in my life, but it sounds good to investors because they say we made so and so resign, but he's still on the board.
Yeah, so he's not gone. Being a board member, he's still making decisions
Yeah.
for the company. And
Yes.
as a
Yes.
consumer and a fan, I'm not a fan of this.
They did
It's
the
just
same
going to
thing
tank.
to Mariotti.
Yeah,
They did the same thing to Becker. They did the same thing to the previous chief CFO, that lady who stepped down and still remained on the board. All of these people have stepped down as a show. It's just a show.
yeah.
But they've stayed on the board. That doesn't work. That would never work anywhere else on the planet. But getting back to what I was saying, their burn rate is significantly higher than the amount of money that they have coming in. They've done nothing to fix this, and you can't stay in business that way. It's physically not possible to have a burn rate that's higher than the amount of money that you have coming in. I give them, and I said this before they started selling off pieces, because we know that they sold off the board games not too long ago. If I think you're going to see Funko turn into a bunch of different small pieces here shortly. You'll see it become the pop division. You'll see it become the soda division. You'll see it become the extra large division. Different companies will buy off different pieces, and Funko will give them the license rights. But the problem is, inevitably, Funko will go completely out of business because you only have license agreements for so long. Like, license agreements aren't forever.
No.
People don't sign license agreements for eternity or indefinitely, right? They sign them for a set time. So Funko will stay alive as long as they have their license agreement still in order, but eventually that will run out and you will see them dissipate off into nowhere. Is where, but their brand, the brands will still be out there. They will just be held through a different company. You'll have Pop that'll be through Mattel. You'll have the sodas that'll be through somebody else. I mean, you see where I'm going with that, right?
I can see Mattel buying up a few of these.
Yeah.
To be honest,
So they're going to get scattered throughout the world because they've just made very poor decisions, and there's nothing that anyone can do at this point to fix it because they themselves don't want to fix it. let's hit that chat up real quick.
I blame man.
But the person finally says, well, you still have all your pops. I need everybody to understand that I sold all of my high dollar pops, every one of them. I didn't just say this and then not believe it. I sold every one of my pops that were worth more than $100 because inevitably they're not going to be worth a dime. So
and that's what I'm doing down here. I mean, I have probably about down here on the floor, we've got about 24 pops or so that are going. The ones on the shelf are, I don't know, still maybe. I've got about another 15 back behind the screen here. And we're deciding what we're going to do with them. Most likely, my wife's just going to put them up on the eBay account that we usually have. And I'm not looking to make any money off. I'm just looking to get rid of them. So if you're interested, and there's a whole bunch of Marvel zombies. Trust me, and Marvel, it pains me to get rid of Marvel, but I got too much. I got
to do some kind of live auction, but let's hit this chat up real quick.
So we have a couple people, of course, my channel, so nobody comes and watches, but it's all right.
Oh, whatever.
We got Miss Christina Payne in the house. We got Pops Mafia. What's going on?
What's going on, brother?
We got Mr. Zach Bonifer in the house. What's up, man? We got from the Great White North. We've got Mr. Simon Crook, and we've got Kenneth Bird in the house. What's going on?
So staying on my theme of maybe dogging out Funko, but I truly don't think that that's what I want to do, guys. I don't want to be negative with Funko. I
think overly we've beat that horse.
Yeah, I love Funko as a brand, but the problem is they've just made stupid decisions, and they're not going to come back from them. They are owning their stupid decisions, which is really bad. I have a question though. So I seen this line of sodas, and I used to be one of the biggest fans of soda. I have massive Tupperwares full of Funko sodas that I don't have displayed because I just haven't figured out how. But I love the sodas. I love that soda line. It was one of my favorite lines Funko did. The sodas got smaller, did they not? What are these things smaller? Is it my imagination?
Let's see. I got one right here.
Is that smaller, or is it? I mean,
I'm hoping it's a bad picture, but I mean, let's see. I got Clarabelle Clown here. Cow
Chat,
here.
Are they smaller?
That's a decent size pop. Those are definitely like Dorb size.
Hold on, let me like move you over real quick. Let me like slide you into that slot. Well, it's not going to let me. Hold on. Let's pull it. So
that's a normal size soda as what we've had before, and I mean
they're smaller, right? I mean that's not my imagination, right?
No, they look more Dorb size than anything, especially a more round head on top of it. I mean, we're basically going back to Dorbs.
I thought, look, I looked at this picture today and I said, man, they look different. Those look smaller. They look.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty. I said it a long time ago, but we had a lot of YouTubers out there
that killed the sodas.
Completely killed the sodas for everybody.
I don't want to say like a few people. I just want to say as a community, because they couldn't have done it without like a lot of people helping. So I think as a community, we killed the sodas. It was unfortunate because it was my favorite line. But then Funko didn't help when Funko decided to make unlimited numbers, and then people found out they were making them overseas and here, and so Funko didn't help themselves in the sodas either. So
this definitely seems like shrinkflation. I mean, we've already been seeing shrinkflation.
Would you call that shrinkflation?
Yes, I would call this shrinkflation because it's just like anything else. You're asking for the same amount of money, almost more than this, because that's 6 pops. I'm gonna say they're throwing in the damn bag for free. But at $100 divided by 6, that's $17 a soda. So you're basically still paying exactly the same price for those sodas, except for they're smaller. And
I
it doesn't
swear to
make
you, look,
any
I
sense.
think you're right.
I mean, look at the past that we have seen. Animal, smaller.
The
There's been
Deadpools are
multiple
smaller.
smaller.
Deadpools are smaller. I
Deadpool's
can prove it.
smaller. We're doing it's shrinkflation at its finest right
I
here.
guess I didn't think about it. Hey, so that's one of those terms, right? Um, that's one of those terms when people are like shrinkflation and they get like all upset about it. Typically, the person that gets upset is the one that gets the largest cup you can get from McDonald's. I don't know how big that
Oh,
cup is.
dude! I mean, just look at me. I mean, think about McDonald's. McDonald's is a prime example of shrinkflation
There
because
you go.
you have. I mean, remember back in the day? I mean, how they did documentaries about it, which supersized me. You get the supersize, you get the massive cup about yay big, and then now you go in there and they say first of all it used to be any size drink for $1. Well, now it's like any size drink for like $3, and then on top of it, your large drinks, you're like, well, I might as well get the large drink because it's the same price as the medium. Well, the large drink is now the size of a medium drink. The medium drink is about the size of a small drink, and a small drink, well, I mean, it's like a little 4-ounce cup. You remember
Quick
mall
draw.
rats? You remember mall rats? And he walked around with that little cup in the food court. That's about the size of your small.
Oh, speaking of mall rats, let's talk about this for a minute. So you know that we're the last generation of kids that woke up on Saturday and did one of two things. They got on their bicycle and went and hung out with the neighborhood kids, and then you eventually ended back up at someone's house playing some sort of video game. Everyone there together playing the video game. And then you either ended up at the mall where you didn't spend any money, you just kind of walked
You
around and
literally just wandered around the
you
damn
just
mall.
walked around, and the only way you spent money is if maybe some chick that you liked happened to come to the mall that day, and maybe she let you hold her hand, and you might have bought her a drink or took her to the movies inside of the mall. And then your day ended and you did it all over again the next day. That level of socialness, that level of hanging out is gone. It's
Yeah,
gone.
I was exactly the same. I remember being a kid in Massachusetts, especially let's just do a. I mean, I got excited when when I had kids and all of a sudden I'm like, cool, we get Saturday morning cartoons back. Realize there is no Saturday morning cartoons anymore. And then on top of it, I mean, that was the thing as a kid. You woke up at 6 o'clock. That's about when Saturday morning cartoons started. Saturday morning cartoons went to about 9:30 ish, and then wrestling usually started. And sometimes you watch it. Sometimes you're like, it's a nice day out and go grab my bike. Maybe we'll head out to the ball field and throw a catch. And if you got nothing else, or especially in Massachusetts, it was a little cold. It's like, hey, let's take the bus down to the city bus. Mind you, I'm a junior high kid riding the city bus by myself.
Yeah.
And we just ride that down to the mall, kind of hang out there for hours, not buying it. We had no money.
Nothing.
So
No money.
it's not like we bought
Maybe
anything.
$10 in your pocket.
We
Maybe.
literally just wander around the store, and I mean, would run around stores all the time and whatnot. I don't know. It was, dude. It's got fun. I got fond memories of that though.
Those days are gone. Our kids will never experience that.
No.
They'll never
And we
know
didn't
what
have
that was
cell
like.
phones,
Nobody was on their phone.
nobody was. It was, and
Nobody was checking emails.
The only rule back then was, you kind of let your parents know where you were going to be at when you left. And then mainly the only rule was you were back at the house by the time the streetlights came on.
You were back before it got dark. That was it. Those days are gone, and I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, those days are past us, but let's move on past that one, because let's talk about the things that are like past us. So did you watch the Super Bowl? I didn't watch. I haven't watched the Super Bowl. I haven't watched the NFL since they started taking a knee. I'm gonna get that out there right now for everybody that's gonna like get upset with me when I say that. Go ahead and get upset now. You can get it over with.
I'm still a football fan regardless. I mean, to me, I look at it as a sport. I mean, people want to do what they want to do. That's what. But me, I've always been a very competitive sports fan, and so I still watch. But yes, I did watch the Super Bowl.
So I
That's
agree with
fair,
you, but here's the thing, right? So all of my family is some form of military with the exception of me. My grandfather was a Marine Corps sniper. My uncle was a helicopter pilot in the Navy. My dad was in the Army. I had another uncle that was a submarine. I had another uncle that was on an aircraft carrier. Then my brother went into the military. My little brother is at officer school right now. So when they started taking a knee, we took it very offensively, regardless of what the cause was.
yeah.
Regardless of the cause, we took it very offensively. So I stopped watching it at that moment, but I caught bits and pieces of it because I'm still interested in what's going on. I'm still interested in the halftime show, even though I missed it. That was fine. So I caught bits and pieces of it. Travis, what is this kid's name?
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce. So that's the Taylor Swifty dummy, right? I mean,
That he's been a well-known football player for many years to most football fans and very good football players, probably compared to, for me, being a diehard Patriots fan, as closely, connected to Rob Gronkowski, as a can is one of the best tight ends in the
his whole
league.
family was athletes too, by the way. Rob.
Oh, his whole family was, yeah.
Family was athletes.
But it's kind of the same thing with the Kelce family. They're all athletes. Two of them in NFLs. There's another younger brother coming up. So they're all in there. It's kind of like when the Manning brothers do their little shows and stuff like that. It's kind of same idea.
All right.
He's a good player. He's funny. But yes, he happens to be dating
The Swifty
Taylor
guy.
Swift.
We're gonna call him the Swifty guy. The Swifty guy for now. The Swifty guy proved to me that the generations are completely different than when I played football in school. So I know that the little Swifty guy has some sort of anger issues based on
Oh,
his
I know what you're
pushing,
getting into.
of an elderly phenomenal coach. I mean, one of the NFL icons, right? Andy Reid?
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. So the Swifty was pushing this
Well,
elderly guy,
it
screaming.
wasn't a straight on push, but I saw it when it happened. And I mean, the guy, I can give him credit for the passion in which he plays with. He's passionate about the game, passionate about playing, and wanting to help the team win. With that said, he got real close to Andy. I mean, he should have been yelling at his head coach like that. No, and it was more of a chest bump than a full on like arm extendable push. And he's even go on and he's come out and apologized for that and said he never should have done it in the first
So
place. Never should have gotten that passionate, But
so the Swifty guy, I and this is what I'm saying, how I know things are different, right? So when I was a kid and we were playing football, we might not have always liked our coach. Like, and we were talking about this today at dinner. We had two buses, and I came from a team that was state champs many years in a row. I was special teams, I was punt return, I played nose guard, I played defensive end, I played a bunch of different positions, and we had a great team. But you knew what was going to happen if we lost a game based on what bus you got on. So if you got on the bus with the head coach and the defensive coordinator and you lost, you knew all the way back that you were going to hear exactly why you lost and what happened. And that didn't make us like the coach, but we respected the coach for who he was. And if somebody would have ever tried to put their hands on that coach, I don't think that person would have walked away with,
well,
with like with it being okay. And that's how I know that the generations are different. And how do we teach our children to be respectable young men and women when we promote people like this in our society?
well, I agree. I definitely agree. I mean, and you got to talk about. I mean, Andy Reid is kind of a player's type of coach,
And
and
he's always been a
he's
loud
always been
coach.
a player's coach.
Always been a
Whereas
loud coach.
if you had a guy like Gronkowski do that to Bill Belichick, well, guess what? Grunk's sitting the bench the rest of the game.
He should have.
You know,
He should have.
he would just completely sit the bench the rest of the game. And I mean, hell, they've done that to Belichick did that to Malcolm Butler, who missed practices before the Super Bowl. I mean, so he should have been benched the rest of the game, to be honest with you, for those actions. But and by him not doing anything, that kind of says, well, you can kind of do whatever. But I don't think that's all coaches in that league. I
So
really don't.
I'm at the point now where I think the NFL should step in and they should find this dude and then
Oh
they
yeah,
should bench him. They should
100%.
bench him for a couple of games. I think that's all in fairness. That they should, but whatever. None of my business. There's a 4-pack of these guys that are running around out there. You can go pick them up at that fan page. It's let me pull up so I can see it a little better. It's gonna be the fanatic.com NFL.
Oh,
So you can
fanatics.com.
fanatics.com. You can go get this. It's got Patrick Mahomes, it's got Chris, it's got the little
Patrick, Travis Kelsey, Isaiah
yeah,
Pacheco, and
well,
Chris
I
Jones.
was trying to say the what do you call that? The what do they call her? The I can't even think of what they call her. Swifty. That this you go get a Swifty guy. Scott with the Swifty guy. You, you can go get that. I think that it's a little overpriced at $79 for the 4-pack.
Yeah,
But if
way
that's something that you're into, I mean, that's your chance to go
if
grab
you're
those.
a fan, I mean,
Yeah.
I would, if it was the Patriots back in the day and they had Brady and Gronk and Edelman,
Yeah.
and Hightower, yeah, I probably would have put out the $80 for it regardless.
Kermit the yeah. So I would have done it too if it would have been the Atlanta Falcons with Michael Vick and I'm trying to think of some of the other guys. You had Gonzalez, you had so many good players that played for Falcons when you had Michael Vick. Yeah, so this is where that's where I was going with that, man. If somebody would have gotten our coach's face if they played on our team, I promise you that everybody would have thought there was a riot happening because we played with that much passion and nobody would have done that to our coach, regardless if they played or not. And I was bringing that up because not because I want to dog on the guy, because I do, because I think he's a coward, but picking on an old man like that, he should have gotten somebody's face that could have slapped him. But you just shouldn't do that. And if you're going to do that, then it's going to be really tough going forward for us to tell our kids that you can't do things like this because it's not right. But then they see that it's okay in this setting by this one person, and it's not okay. And I just don't understand why we allow such nonsense to keep happening.
Yeah,
We shouldn't allow that to be a norm. And if that's going to be a norm, man, it's going to get really out of hand. There's a lot of things that are going to be out of hand for a whole long time. I have faith, though. I have faith that the NFL is going to step in and they're going to do something about it to not this season, but next season is where I'm hoping that something happens. But if it doesn't, I hope Andy Reid trades him.
Well, the one thing about the saga, I mean, again, I think Andy Reid needs to come out and do some sort of disciplinary action himself as a coach to establish that. But I do agree. What's funny is I do watch the New Heights podcast by Travis Kelsey and his brother Jason. Now, his brother Jason, of course, is older, and it was funny because the next episode they did after the Super Bowl, it was his brother that was calling him out on that bullshit.
Yeah,
And,
it was nonsense.
It was Jason that was calling him out on it, and he did say it was 100% unacceptable to have been even screaming at the coach like that. But yeah, I mean, I get it, in the heated moment, stuff like that. But you need to be able to, and that doesn't teach a good lesson, because we need to be able to teach our kids to, get their attitudes in check and their because if that becomes a norm, then I mean, what's going to control anything? So
Right. So I feel like that was just an excuse when I say, "Oh, I was excited." Well, that's cool. Walk away. Throw your helmet down. Walk away. Come
yeah.
back in 5 minutes and then have a cop. But anyways, let's move off of that. Coming soon, because I love Funko and we want to talk about what's coming soon. They have a just crazy amount of Bitty Pops that are going to be coming soon. So I know that everybody's going to want to talk about the new Bitty Pops that are coming soon. Do you collect any of the Bitty Pops?
No, my kids have gotten a few of the princess ones, but
What is
I mean,
Galaxy
I started seeing some of the biddies in the stores, individual packs, but I think the only ones I had were ones I didn't really care for, so I
What
never.
is Galaxy Quest? Do you know?
Galaxy Quest is a old, and I think they're supposed to be bringing a version of it back. But Galaxy Quest was originally a movie featuring Tim Allen, and this is probably God had to been late '90s, early 2000s of when it came out, and it was basically a spoof of sorts from like a Star Trek type thing, and where they were actors in a show called Galaxy Quest. You see them go to cons and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden you have an actual alien that abducts them, thinking they're the actual Galaxy Quest people, not realizing that they're just actors. It was an interesting and funny movie. I mean, I heard some rumblings of them supposedly redoing it into another, so maybe this kind of solidifies that.
So the thing that I noticed, right, when I went to the coming soon this time, is that there's a few things that are like going on. They're bringing in license agreements that I don't know, right? That I don't think most people would know. Like Galaxy Quest, you knew that, but I don't think that if I asked, I don't think if I took a room of 10 people and
Yeah.
said, "What is Galaxy Quest?" that 5 out of the 10 would tell me what you did. I think that 5 out of the 10 would go, I don't know what a Galaxy Quest is. And then they have just a retarded amount of anime that they keep like coming out with. Like
Well,
it's
it tells you where they still have licensing at.
I mean, just anime for days, just standing on this anime like no tomorrow. And then we come back in with stuff that I know nothing about. Like, what is this one? What
So
is that?
the first Galaxy Quest originally came out in 1999.
But what is this one?
Succession. It's
What?
I'd like to say it's from HBO or
What?
something of that. It's some show about basically the rich one percenters trying to. Yeah, I never got interested in it.
But that goes back to the point that I was just making is that they have 2 different kinds of pops that they're coming out with. They have the ones that are coming from small shows that I'm still willing to bet if I took 10 people and put them in a room and said, "What is this?" that 5 out of those 10 would have no clue. That they would I don't it might be even higher than that if we're being
Yeah.
honest. Um, and then they have anime. It's just anime, it's more anime, it's more anime. I did but this is they do have some stuff that I think is gonna sell out, so hear me out.
Well, the thing is that a lot of that, like I said, really, I say you can see the amount of licensing Funko is really because if you notice, look at this lineup. It used to be filled of you'd at least see some sort of Disney, some sort of Marvel, some sort of Star Wars in there.
Yes.
We're not seeing any of that. So
No.
it's either means that Disney's license is getting too expensive and they decide to cut that out, or I don't know, shrinkflation. I'm going back with that.
Shrinkflation it is. Hear me out though, I do believe this one is gonna sell out, and I don't know why, I think I know why, like, for it has
Sure,
such a
it'll sell
cult
out because it'll end up on Ross's shelves.
it has such a cult-like following when it comes to The Wizard of
Not as
Oz.
much anymore, though. I don't
I
think.
don't know, man. Every time I think that it doesn't, I see every time I think that The Wizard of Oz doesn't have the same following that it used to have, I see those stupid slippers sell
Well,
at some auction for another $1,000,000 more than they sold the previous time.
now
So
could it? Now here's where I'm going to say no, because now could it be that you're going to have some people come back on it? Sure, because they did it during the Super Bowl where they showed the trailer of the new Wicked movie, which is a Broadway adaptation of The Wizard of Oz, kind of a different story take to
right.
it. But here's the thing: is they already tried redoing this once. I mean, if you remember, I'd like to say mid '90s. Sorry, not mid '90s. Mid 2000s. They came out with Oz, and it was supposed to be like a
I remember that.
continuation of
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz, and it fell flat on its face. They spent way too much money making it, and I don't even think they got their money back from it. It was a horrible
But
movie. and nobody cared for it.
Hear me out though. So there's two pops that I think that will be coming out here in the short future. One of them's not going to sell out, but it's going to be super hot. This one is going to I look, I think this one sells out unless they made hundreds of thousands of them, which is possible. We know that they've been overproducing like you wouldn't believe. So unless they overproduce this like you wouldn't believe, I think this one sells out.
Not at all.
I think it sells out. Maybe it's restocked.
I don't think Funko can sell out of anything anymore.
Maybe it's restocked later, but I think this one sells out. So keep your eyes on this one, especially if you're going to just flip it. Look, I encourage flipping.
I think a lot of people. I mean, and that's a problem. I think where Funko's having at this moment is you're going to have the people that are able to create a connection with something good that they remember from their child, whether it is Wizard of Oz or not. You're still going to have those people, but you don't have the flippers as much anymore. You don't even have the heavy collectors that used to collect a lot, because you got people even like me are dumping a lot of Funko Pops. I'm not doing it because I know that the values of all these pops are dive bombing.
I do,
but I'm not doing it because of that. But I know a lot of people out there are selling pops because prices are dive. There is no value in it. If you want to see what exactly is going to happen to Funko, just go watch the Beanie Baby story.
The funny thing is, every time I made that reference, and even when I made that video, I got so much hatred for that video.
It is
true.
But
it's 1,000% true. There's nothing that I said that wasn't true.
History is 100% repeating itself, because even the people that did the Beanie Babies, like there's actually a good I guess movie documentary on the whole Beanie Baby craze and how they started out and how they got successful and how the too much success made them make a lot of bad mistakes.
Yeah, like Funko.
Like it's basically 100% history repeating itself.
This one, the Chase variant of this Cowardly Lion, is another one. Look, this one's not going to sell out. There's going to be a lot of them out there. But this one in particular, when it drops, and if you can find it, is going to go up in price quickly. I say quickly, but 80 is probably going to be the top on it. But now 80 is a lot in the world of Funko. So that I would watch that one. 80 didn't used to be a lot, but today
you'd be lucky to get a 20 out of it.
I don't know. I think that Chase variant pops up there quick. I really believe that Chase variant pops up there faster than you could say don't do it at this moment. Did they just get more uploaded on there? I think so. Hold on. Oh, they did. So they got the Harley Quinns. They got the Spider-Man. They got the Wolverine that they've stomped into the ground.
There's one Disney. We've seen one Disney. It's Maribel.
Yeah, not a very hot Disney. And then we go back into My Hero Academia, some soccer. Oh, no, I just moved way down the list by accident. I see what I did now. Because I'm like, wow, that doesn't make any sense. How did I do that? There we go. Now we're back into it. Other than that, there's not a whole lot I see that's going to be super awesome. But here's the other thing is that I'm not necessarily the person to talk about when it comes to this anime stuff. And it seems like that's the only direction Funko is going in. This One Piece Laffy with the 5-year, though, is going to be fire when it comes to the world of it going up in price.
Yeah, again, when we say going up price, it's not dramatic like it used to be.
No, did they make a movie moment? They should. I don't think they have, but they definitely should.
That might be interesting.
That would definitely be something that would be pretty hot. So this one I think is going to be pretty hot, and maybe there's a few more down through here that are going to be okay, but nothing that I think is nothing like it used to be. They just don't have what they used to have. The fire is not there anymore. You better get a Jack in the Box.
The fire, Jack in the Box, maybe. I mean, but the fire, the creativity, the everything about it is just not.
It's just not there no more. So that's what they have going on there. Here, let's get out of that one, and then we'll pull up what they have as far as what's on their exclusives right now, because I think that they have some okay stuff there as well.
But if you want to find some Funko exclusives, just go to your local Ross.
Let's
for $5.99.
So While we're getting this one uploaded, over on the TikTok we do the Doomsday Delight marshmallows. Hey, look, I need y'all to quit buying all of these. So y'all keep like buying like all of them at one time. Look, I'm only one person. I can only make so many of these at one
Time
time.
to double up the freeze dry.
I'm
Let's
only
see.
one person. Y'all quit buying them out. It's not funny. Quit putting ha 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 when you
Again,
do it.
I like I told you before, you guys, I get, because I do watch you guys a lot. Of course, TikTok follows what you watch a lot.
Right. Yeah.
And so I do get a bunch of the different candy companies that pop up. And there's a lot of people, like there is a trend right now of a lot of people doing the Charleston chews.
Yep.
And of course, Skittles have always been popular when there was people that were doing the nerds, but I think they all came with the same problem you had. So
Yep.
it seemed like everyone stopped selling the nerds, the rope things. But I have not seen a single person doing those marshmallows at all. I expect with Easter coming up, people are going to be trying to do the peeps.
We're doing an Easter basket for Easter.
But you're the only person I know doing the marshmallows, and it's a great idea. It sounds good. I have not ordered any, but I did just order a 3-pack. So
stop buying all of these.
Buy as many as you guys possibly can.
That is not at all what I'm saying. Stop.
Read between the lines and buy, like, go over to there right now and buy 10 bags a piece.
Don't, because somebody keeps doing it. Someone keeps buying me out of all of them.
Just buy 10 bags a piece, and he's really telling you to buy more.
So I wanted to go to the coming soon because they actually have not coming soon. The ones that are exclusive now, they actually have something on here that I want, but I honestly thought that this one would have sold out. I am kind of shocked that it didn't sell out, but this also goes to what we were talking about and how you could tell Funko is slowing down. Like the buying of Funko is slowing down because in 2019, 2020, this thing would have sold out so fast that even in 2021, maybe 2020, not so much 2022, maybe in 2022, after that it wouldn't have sold out. This thing would not still be there. I was so shocked today when I went to the coming soon and I seen this there and it wasn't sold out. I
will tell you, the Deadpools are all in my get rid of collection.
Really?
And wow. Do you have this one?
I don't. We're gonna have to figure out something on that one. Let me see that one again, because that was the one you had.
This was the black one. This is the Marvel.
Yes.
The Marvel Collector version.
Right. So we're gonna have to work something out on that.
Same pop, opposite colors. We don't have to work nothing out.
You sent me the other one, which was him in the ninja suit. Do you remember that one? Here, I'll get him for you. It's one of my favorite Deadpools.
Him in the ninja suit. Oh, I think that. Okay, yeah. With the throwing stars. Oh, yeah, he has the throwing stars on it.
Yes, that's one of my favorite Deadpools of all time. You sent me that one.
Yeah, I think I might have been in the same box, to be honest with you.
So that's the one crazy thing when it comes to Funko. I still say that I have the biggest Deadpool collection on YouTube. I'll stand by that because I have a stupidly big.
I just realized because it said Marvel Collectors, I might have to keep
that. All right, what were we talking about? Oh, I am still shocked that this one didn't sell out, but I guess that kind of like goes back to what we've been talking about. Funko is going to have to change what they're doing. I swear those sodas got smaller. I'm still like I'm just gonna stand by the idea. But even when I come to their exclusives, right, I don't see anything that's just super hot. Like, what am I missing?
Scarlet Witch. Oh, that's the Valentine's Day one.
Yeah, I mean, but what am I missing? Like,
doesn't really seem to be any must-haves. I mean, I know they just did was it Target Con or doing Target Con?
So did you keep up with any of that at all?
No.
So
it's the only con they've done all year, as far as I know.
DP WayneKo, that's right. I've actually thought about changing my name to Deadpool's name a few times. What was Deadpool's name?
Wade Wilson.
That's what I thought, Wade Wilson. I thought about changing my name on YouTube a few times to Wade Wilson, just for fun of this. So the Target Con's come and gone, right? And there was a lot of leaks about like what was coming out on Target Con. And so today I just decided to go to their site and see like if anything had sold out, and if it had sold out, what was it? Because I didn't go to Target just for whatever reasons. I just didn't make it to Target this year. There is some, I think, some pretty cool stuff that like was at Target Con this year. This was the biggest Target Con I've seen as far as pops go.
Yeah, usually they only do like what, maybe
6
10.
6 or 8 tops.
Yeah.
Tops. This is a lot of them that they did for Target Con this year for whatever reason. I'm not really sure like what the concept was and why they did so many of them, but they did. Seems really strange to me that they did so many of
Is
them.
it weird to say that Hello Kitty one is actually kind of cool, but I guarantee you it's about half the size?
It's not weird to say. I got some Hello Kitty stuff here. They're pretty cool. So we have the Eddie. They're killing the Eddie, the Blacklight Eddie. They've run it into the ground. I don't know what this thing is. this this
Wait, hold on,
Norto.
hold on. I can tell you now, for now, that Hello Kitty one is small. Because if you scan over it, normally on all the rest of these, they show you the front of the case.
Yeah, they give you the back of the box.
And only on the Hello Kitty, they don't show you the whole
Yeah.
front of the case. They show you the back of the box. So that means that thing is tiny as hell.
Yeah, they didn't even want to show you like it in the
It's
box.
a keychain top.
So we have the last the Ronin, the last Ronin. That's really cool.
Yeah, that
We
one is actually pretty cool.
So, but then check this out, right? So they have Stephen Curry, which I thought was pretty cool, especially if you're into basketball. You were gonna like that one. But then you have this 2-pack, right? Look at the price of this 2-pack.
Yeah, $30 for yeah.
What?
When all the rest of these pups are selling, well, I guess it's so you're not getting a deal by buying a 2-pack at all.
No.
Typically, that was always the benefit. If you bought a 2-pack, you got like it was like at least $5 less. But all these pops are $14.99. You're selling that for 20. You're saving a penny.
I think they're charging you more.
No, 14. No, that'd be a penny. A
Penny.
penny
So
difference.
a penny difference. You're gonna get a penny off if you buy 2 of these guys together. I thought that the price of that was absolutely insanity. The
Yeah.
$29. You have the now you have the 10-inch pop. It's because they don't like to call 'em. Do you remember when 10-inch pops were only $20?
Yeah. Too much.
$44.99.
Too much.
I remember when you could get those for
Dude,
like
remember they had all the
$24.
Marvel zombies. Even at that, it wasn't the $20, but the Marvel zombies were all at Walmart for $30 a piece.
I remember when they were 24. I
I
picked
was comfortable with that.
I picked up 4 of my 10-inch Deadpools at Black Friday for $20 a piece at Walmart.
Yeah.
20 is a penny saved is a penny earned, Pop Mafia said. I
True.
like it.
True.
I like it. I like it. So, the 2-pack, somebody said that they picked that one up, Edge and Kane. That was pretty cool looking 2-pack. The Stitch right here with the 10-inch, if it wasn't like $44, I promise you I'd probably buy that one, but it's $44.99. I'm not giving them $50. We might as well call a duck a duck. This does have the what?
The
Squirrel.
Star Wars one is weak as shit.
What is Squirrel Girl?
Dude, I know Marvel and I've never even heard of Squirrel Girl. I'm sorry.
What is Squirrel Girl?
Not on my radar.
Is that Marvel Squirrel Girl?
It is a Marvel, apparently.
Squirrel Girl.
Got nothing.
Why are they showing her tail?
Mm.
Seems weird.
But for of all the Star Wars pops you're gonna put out, you just put out Leia.
Princess Leia again.
Has been done how many times?
15 times or so. Again, you just give us Princess Leia again. And then you have all of the sizes of Princess Leia still available. You get her in the 2XX and medium. You could go get the lunchbox for $11.99.
Lunchbox.
You can go get the backpack for $40. You can get the Sonic and the Hedgehog 2-pack. You can get the DC Hall Jordan. I don't know who that is.
Hal Jordan. He's
Hal Georgia.
Which is funny because that must be. I'm not following DC as much. Hal Jordan is. I could be wrong. I thought Hal Jordan was Green Lantern, but that one's a red one, so I don't know.
So you have Kong.
DC.
Kong that's also there. You have Knuckles, which is pretty cool. Another size of the Princess Leia. So
weak.
This is more pops than I've ever seen them do.
It's because they didn't do any other con. They didn't do an Emerald City. They didn't do a Toy Fair. They haven't done anything.
So it's the most pops that I've seen them do. Um, I don't think it was a success.
I think there's still a shitload at Target.
Typically the Target cons sell out online fast. You can't like get them online. You have to go grab them in stores, and then if they are in stores, it becomes a fiasco to get your hands on.
The
I
only one
think
that really seemed to have sold quickly, to be honest with you, is the Hello Kitty and then Naruto.
I I thought that the this the this the Curry here should have been okay. That to me, he has a huge following. I would have thought that it maybe would have sold something. I don't know, man. They did a very strange one. It's very disjointed. You have anime, you have the turtles, you have Stranger Things, and then then you have the WWE, then you have the NBA. They just it's very disjointed. Disney, and then Star Wars, and then Marvel. It wasn't normally when they have these
And if
things.
we're gonna do a Target con, where's our bullseye?
Right, there's no bullseye. Normally when they do these things, it's very like directioned, and it's very they have the Star Wars, and then the Star Wars plays into this one, and there was no playing into each other. They all feel very random.
Yeah.
There was nothing real like significant about them other than they put the sticker on them that said Target Con and somehow convinced Target to take them. I think this will be the last time they convince Target to do that though, because it just didn't look like it was a huge success. Quick Draw says speaking of Star Wars, who said that they would never do an NFT? Ooh, did Star Wars do an NFT? Let's go see if they did an NFT. I like this idea.
Well, I know we again, it was rather surprising because, of course, they did the Disney, and we knew that most of them come. And to be honest with you, whether you're a fan or not, whether they got Disney licensing, because I guarantee you they're not making as much money off the Disney NFTs as they are a dead license. But to be honest with you, NFTs were the fall of Funko. Because if you really look at it around the time they started the NFTs, they were in a decline. They were more popular before doing NFTs. They started doing NFTs and they started tanking.
Quick Draw. I don't see a Star Wars NFT.
Let's see.
I see that they got a Space Jam. Let me go to drops. Maybe I missed it. So I got Squid Games, I got Potter.
Says Series 1 Star Wars Funko Pop Digital Pop. Funko is releasing Star Wars as digital pops. Don't miss out. So they haven't done it yet.
Put that up there.
This is off of Funko Pop News.
So I see that on the drops they have a Space Jam coming up. Look, let's be honest, Space Jam didn't do that great to begin with. They had China James promoting it. Nobody likes China
it's also
James.
been the movie's been out for a while, so
nobody likes him. He didn't help them. It's they want you to like him so much that they keep trying to convince you that he's the greatest NBA player of all time. I would put Jordan against him any day of the week. So what that one just what was that on? Was that real though? I don't know if that was real.
That was off of the Instagram Funko Pop News.
Yeah, but Funko Pop News is not Funko. And that doesn't look like a Funko branded.
The only one I've seen that I will trust is Dish Tracker. And
was it on Dish Tracker?
Let's see.
Grogu, that's right. You're 100% correct on that one. They'll screw it up and they'll make.
The only one I think I've heard about was Transformers.
I don't know if I'd believe that one yet. So Star Wars and Disney are actually like they're owned by the same mother company, but they're kind of two different companies. And
it's just like Marvel. Marvel is technically a different entity off of it, but yeah, they're still owned by Disney overall.
Getting Star Wars to come off much of anything is kind of difficult.
So this looks to be the next one. So you get here's something in here. So you got Transformers Series 2, Star Wars Funko Digital Pops. So it looks like it is. They're both coming soon.
Maybe it's happening, people.
The fact that it is on Dish Tracker, I believe him.
But we'll have to see how many packs they burn because We know that the last few drops they've done, they've had to burn over half of the packs, which seems absolutely insane to me. Simon says he didn't understand why they're not doing Dragon Ball. I don't either. I mean, they should. I mean, those would be pretty hot, I would think. Star Trek, yeah, that's going to be coming up
But
soon.
again, in the end, I mean, let's look at the timeline of this whole thing. To me, honest, NFTs. You want to say, I know Andrew's a big fan of him and he's a good friend of the shows, but to be honest with you, I think NFTs were the death of Funko.
So here's my problem with NFTs, though. So let me talk about my biggest problem when it comes to Funko and NFTs. The channels that you see opening them, with the exception of Andrew, aren't buying the packs. And before you go to naming off the big channels that are doing this, 2 of them have came out openly and said
they were getting them sent.
They were getting them sent to them. So before you're like, these 2 don't, yes, they do. They openly said that they were getting them to them. And then one of them has openly said to me in the background that they're getting them sent to them. That they and then I even can tell you how you know the channels that are getting them sent to them. They always have the same number of the big packs, whatever they're called. The big the ones that come with extra cards. They'll all have that same number, so it'll be 6 or 7 of those, and then they'll all have the exact same number of the smaller packs. And you're like, man, why are all of these people buying the exact same number? Because they're not.
No, they're being given to them.
They're not. They're giving them to them, and then not only are they giving them to them, they're giving them loaded ones so that they can sell off the high dollar stuff to make it worth their while of doing.
On multiple of these people, go back and look at their videos. These are also the same people that were pulling top grails from Mystery Grail.
Yes.
Which is damn near impossible. They should have been playing the damn lotto.
Premium packs, that's it. So these people aren't actually buying them. So people are like, well, they're not actually buying them. So that's been my problem with the NFTs, is that they're super hard to get the exclusives, and they say that it's better to buy it in the secondary market than it is in the first, because if you buy the pack in the secondary market, you're more likely to get a grail or whatever it is that you can have a redeemable on, and and you don't actually know what's in the cards till you pull the cards. So they get to determine, like, at any given moment what's inside of that pack. They shouldn't be able to do that. Once those packs are set, those packs should be set, and that's what should be in them. It shouldn't be like, well, this pack is now going to have that, and you're going to get this, and you're going to. That's crooked to me.
What's funny is I guarantee it's going to be the Star Wars. They're also not showing pictures of anything for it yet, because I guarantee you,
Grogu.
No, it's not even that. I'm going to call even worse. I guarantee it right now, because you look at the Disney one that they got. They got. I'm sorry, other than the Mickey one, every single one of those were like an old comic that nobody really ever paid attention to, and it was from a particular year. Like Disney, you could tell that Disney was licensing them for a particular line, and that was it. That's all NFTs are going to give them. I guarantee you, Star Wars is going to be the same thing. They're going to be getting the shitty characters like Jar Jar Binks, and I don't know what other crappy character, and some odd droids that nobody's heard of.
Quick Draw said it.
Then you're gonna get the Jawas. I'm pretty sure in there. Like you're not gonna get any of the big characters anybody wants. You might get one. Like your top one's gonna be
No, it's gonna be Freddy as Jar Jar.
But yeah, you're gonna get Freddy as Jar Jar Binks. I mean, come on. Sure, Star Wars got on there, but they ain't giving them the top dollar items. That's just like if Marvel ends up on there. You're not going to see any of the top name. You're going to see an Iron Man Freddy. You're going to see a friggin', I don't know, what's an off the wall, the teenage supersonic whatever from Deadpool. I mean, the character that nobody's really heard of.
U2's is starting to have FYE exclusives. How long have they been doing this?
Still in business?
Yeah, FYE's still in business. What rock have you been living under?
I don't know.
So
we don't have any around here, so I don't know.
They have FYE exclusives. I've said a very long time ago that this company was like slowly creeping in. They were getting better and better and better with everything that they were doing. You can go buy your Tristan in with these guys, I think, unless it's sold out and you can't ever get one again. They started off by making like YouTubers and then they just kind of went on from there. This is one of them that I think you should be keeping your eyes out on. If you're going to get into like a different form of collectible, I think this one's worth looking at. I do, however, think they're a little bit more expensive and they're not any bigger. So I think that these guys are like $30 versus like $15. They're not any bigger than the Funkos, but they are a lot more detailed. They're a lot better crafted. They're pretty cool. You should go check those out if you like want to go look at those. What do you got
Now,
there?
speaking of news that did come out this one, mind you, I'm not exactly happy about it, but Marvel did come out and release this week. Of course, if you guys hadn't heard about it, I know it was some big news already, but they have released the characters for the next Fantastic Four coming out in 2025. Of course, this is going to be Marvel straight up telling you the other three Fantastic Fours come out. Forget any of those even happened, but the cast for the new Fantastic Fours are going to be Pedro Pascal, which is going to play Reed Richards, who's Mr. Fantastic. Again, I'm a big Pedro fan, but I was a bigger fan of John Krasinski, so I was really hoping he would come back. But technically, they killed that version of Fantastic Four already. So, and we've already proven through Spider-Man that the same people within the multiverse don't have to look alike. I mean, look at three different Peter Parkers in the Spider-Man movie. So, unfortunately, I think they've killed that. So you got Pedro Pascal is going to be playing Miss Fantastic. You've got Vanessa Kirby, who's going to be playing Sue Storm. You got Elvin Moss Branch, who is actually, I don't know if you guys know, if you guys ever watched Hulu recently, there's a show on there which is fantastic. I recommend it. It was one of my favorite shows called The Bear. The guy that plays Cousin on there is the one that's playing The Thing. And Joseph Quinn, who plays Eddie in Stranger Things, is playing the Human Torch. So I'm actually kind of excited.
Might be fun.
So this was the image that Disney decided to release since they released this on Valentine's Day.
What's Pedro doing? I'm a little confused.
Well, you remember, Miss Fantastic and Sue Storm are a married couple.
I'm still confused. What's going on?
I don't know.
Why is he doing her arms like that?
I don't know. She's playing her like a puppet.
What?
I don't know. I have no idea.
What's going on here? Why is the thing reading? The thing doesn't read.
The thing reads.
No, he doesn't.
She does. And that's actually supposed to be the character's picture that's behind him right in there as well. And I also like that they got the robot in there. But I think Joseph Quinn is going to be a really good Human Torch. I'm all for that one. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys heard this, I'm a big Fantastic Four fan, so I can't wait to see this movie coming out next year. I think it'll be good. I was fine with the whole cast. My only one was Mr. Fantastic. That was, because he's the leader of the group. So, as much as I love Pedro, and I think Pedro is a fantastic actor, I wanted to see John Krasinski come back on it, but I get it. I get how they're going to play on it.
We'll see. We'll see how that one works out.
Mind you, as well as with that, you guys know, because of course, we haven't talked about it in a couple weeks, but we got Disney Larcana coming this Friday.
Is it coming this Friday?
Into the Inklands is going to release in comic trading shops and stuff on February 23rd.
Sweet.
And mass retailers on March 8th.
Now you're talking to me.
So, and they're going to have three. They're going to have one Illumineers Trove. They're going to have 2 starter decks. And of course, they're going to have the booster packs.
Well, that will be fun.
So we do have to get on because I know JKL found some sort of automated, I guess, computer version of Lorcana that we can kind of play on there together. So we're still gonna have to do that at some point.
We're definitely going to have to do that at some point. Have you seen that there is the? Do you get into the Funko Towns at all?
No.
So you could do like there's a such thing as a Funko Town, right? So the Funko Town is kind of like where you have all of these towns and the different pieces. They did Gotham City. They've done different parts of the Marvels. So they did Iron Man and the Tower.
Well, the only thing I do with the towns is I'm a big collector, and I still got to get the Space Mountain. But I'm a big collector of the Disney places. Like I've got Cinderella's Castle, I got Sleeping Beauty Castle, I've got Tower of Terror. So I'm a big fan of like Disney icon buildings, but that's about where my limits stop.
So there's some problems with this that have been pointed out here recently.
That tower is not correct.
This is a PX exclusive. It's not necessarily the problem with the tower itself, but the tower they put the tower on that white piece of plastic. So it's mounted to that white piece of plastic that you see there, no detail whatsoever, just flat white piece of plastic. And then they glued Iron Man to that flat piece of plastic. So you can't really like display him in any kind of way, and you can't really like put things around him because there's no room. So you can see where people are trying to like stack things around him and they can't because of the awkwardness in which they have it going. But if you think that that's like the norm for them putting them on that flat piece of plastic, here is Batman when they did the whole like Gotham City. You can see all the detail work they put like in the stand itself to hold it. They put tremendous amounts of detail work into that versus the just flat piece of plastic with like Iron Man glued to it. Super strange what they did there, but that one is out. Maybe somebody out there will customize this to make it look right.
I guess that was that image of the tower is right because I'm even looking at. So I want to get it, but it's like $500. But they have the Lego Avengers.
Yes, they have the Lego version of it.
I guess I forgot. I was thinking of there was a different form of Avengers Tower that came. I think there's been a couple different ones, but and then eventually, what it would be cool for someone to do is do it as an Oscorp because, of course, technically Oscorp bought over the Avengers Tower at some point, but that's a different story.
So what I'm hoping to see with this is that I'm hoping to see somebody take this Iron Man off that flat piece of plastic and then that bottom right there customized to how it should be. So it should be like some New York street. It should be something more than what you see right there. They did a very poor job at the bottom of that tower. They just decided that the tower
Yeah, that's weird.
was all they were focused on, and the other piece was just a glued piece to it. Simon says, "Do you think Disney's pumping out the TCG sets without collectors to breathe like Pokemon?" I do. just so you know, I do. I think that they're pumping them out too fast. They're pumping them out too fast. They're coming one set after another set after another.
Well, they already said that they were going to release a new set every 3 months.
They
announced that before they even released the first one.
Right, I think that's too quick. I think you got to like give everybody probably.
How often does Pokemon release a new set?
Oh, they do the same thing. I don't know if it's Simon can answer that, but it's quick. I mean, it's one after another after another after another, and it doesn't give you time to breathe in between them. Like if you were a player, you would barely have time to get to know the deck before a new deck was out.
But I'd like to say, I think when I was a kid and I was doing Magic the Gathering, I think they were always the same way. You would start collecting one deck, and then all of a sudden another series would come out. So I think that's just a TCG thing to pump out the series as they go.
I don't know what I wish they'd slow down just a little. Give me just a little bit of time in between them. Well, just a little bit.
I've got all the starter packs so far, so now I at least got to get the other 2 starter decks.
All the starter decks so far. That is pretty awesome.
Yes, I do have all the starter decks so far.
I seen this cologne today that made me think of you.
What's that?
It's new cologne. This is going to be for the generations that don't know what this is. For everybody that's like, man, I wonder what that's like to have to struggle to flip through the pages.
Oh, geez. It's like I watched a video today of a family. Of course, they made a TikTok out of it or whatnot, but they basically handed like an old school cassette player, in a box to their teenage daughter, and handed them a cassette of Debbie Gibson. And she, first of all, she took probably a good 15 minutes just to figure out how to open up the damn cassette out of the case. And then it took her another probably 20 minutes to figure out how to put the actual tape into the player. It's like, really, is this a generation we've?
This
I
is
mean,
the generation.
that doesn't seem. And maybe because we grew up on cassette tapes. I mean, I remember having my cassette tapes, my Walkman. I mean, I wasn't as far as 8-track level, but cassette tapes were big when we came out. And I mean, again, you know the struggles where we had to create our own, playlist. We had to sit in front of the damn radio and wait for the song we wanted and make sure you hit it on time.
Yes.
Rarely
got it on time. You'd miss the beginning.
I don't even think they do Yellow Pages anymore, do they?
This is your way of reminiscing. If you need some cologne that reminds you of the good old days, you can go buy it. It's called Yellow Pages cologne. You see the little fingers.
Good Lord.
I thought of you when I seen this one. I said, Chris will appreciate.
There's some nostalgia there.
The Yellow Pages cologne. I might get some. See, just spray myself down with it so everybody can be like, why do you smell like a book? They're like, why do you smell like a rusty book? They came out with 2 sets yet at the same time. I think that eventually you're going to see Disney doing that as well. I really hope they slow down, though. I mean, every 3 months to me is a little rapid. Maybe every 4 months would probably sound a little bit better to me, but every 3 months is what they're going to do until people quit buying. And that's kind of what we do. We beat the horse until it's dead.
Yeah.
What were you going to say before I pulled up the Yellow Pages to remind you of what it was like?
I don't remember anymore.
You were going to do something.
I'm getting old. My memory is starting to slip.
It's already starting to slip. Whatever. I'm not paying you any attention.
Oh, I know I sent you an image of it, but I actually, again, my wife's created a bad monster at this point because I have found it as a form of relaxation. And for Valentine's Day, she decided to buy me another Lego set.
Oh yeah, those things are great.
My first Lego set was the 100th anniversary camera, and so she got me a Marvel one this time. Check this thing out, and this thing was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Dude, it's a Quinjet.
Yes, pretty awesome.
You got Iron Man right on there. I had to put Loki on top because his horns won't fit. It even opens up. You put the rest of the characters inside.
That's pretty awesome.
So I was impressed. I couldn't stop. I just kept kind of going on with it once I got started. But I was just shocked in how big the goddamn thing is. Ooh, how many pieces was that?
Too many.
Yeah, I told her she started something she didn't want to. Because now I told her the next one. The next one's going to be 1 or 2 and then they're both about $170 a piece. But it's either going to be 1 or 2. I said it's either the Captain Shield or it's the DeLorean.
Or it's the DeLorean.
The Back to the Future DeLorean.
Right.
Uh-oh. I just broke the wheel off.
You just broke the wheel off?
I'll have to fix that after. I do save the books, though, just in case something happens. So I'll just put that down there.
Just going to put that down there for now.
Yeah. Put that down there.
Entirely too much fun.
Dude, I literally sit up here. I think when I was doing that, I watched both Avengers 1 and Avengers 2. And I just sat up here at my desk and just I find it calming.
No, they're a lot of fun. You just kind of sit there and get through them. They're a lot of fun. I should probably start videoing it though, because you could do a really cool time lapse with it and
I should
upload that on YouTube. I mean, because I don't really believe in like having niches anymore, so it's whatever at this point. Oh,
I've thought about it. I've just been kind of in the point where I'm like, I just like doing it for myself.
I did start freeze drying these guys. Have you seen these?
I saw those on your last live.
They're out for Easter right now. It's these little guys. So it's the Sour Patch Kids These things are absolutely fire. They're not on there yet. We are going to do an Easter basket, though. I think I told you this. We're going to do an Easter basket. It should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun to get it done.
They look really good. Like you said, I think I end up ordering because again, I'm not gonna be able to eat them very much anymore once I do the surgery. But I'm like, I gotta order another 3-pack before it's going. I gotta get them. I gotta get them smoothies. I don't care what your daughter says. Those smoothies are the best ones.
Those smoothies are my favorite. I don't know why she hates on
They
them as
have the
much as she
best
does,
flavor to them.
but those smoothies are my favorite. But she does hate on them. She's like, "Oh, those things are god. No, they're the best."
I love the smoothies. Are the best.
They are the best. No, we've had a lot of fun with that. A lot of fun with that so far.
Yeah, I crash crash and throw shit in there every now and then.
So this is how we're gonna have to like ask Simon about the 7 deadly sins. What is that? What is 7 deadly sins?
Assuming it's an anime, a new anime.
It must be an anime because we know that they're like running animes into the ground. Is this a hot anime? Is it a not so hot anime? Is it something that's going to be really cool? Is it something that's not? I don't know. I know that that first pop that you see there on the far left looks really cool to me. Maybe not so cool, like inevitable, but really cool. What do you think about the Winnie the Pooh box lunch Eeyore? What do you think of this guy for the Valentine's Day?
Week they've done the same ER except for without a heart like a couple times. I mean, it's the same exact one. The half opened eyes. It's the same exact thing.
I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, that one could have been better, right? That one could have definitely have been better. Especially for Valentine's Day. They could have did a little bit more to that one.
Yeah.
In case y'all are wondering where I look at, I go to Hot Stuff for Geeks. They kind of like give me this little cool thing where they tell you all the stuff that's coming. This one piece that you could get from Entertainment Earth.
It shows a 7.8 on IMDb.
What do you mean?
IMDb is a rating factor, so they got a 7.8 out of 10, I guess.
What did
the show
the
what about that show you were asking about? Anime.
Oh, you looked them up. 7 point. What does that even mean?
7.8 rating out of 10 on an IMDb scale. So, I mean, higher than average. You know, people like it. I don't know how long it's been out, but
yeah, I don't have a clue. So then, I mean, I guess you can just kind of see, right, what's going on. So we have anime, Marvel.
Deadpool.
We have Winnie the Pooh, anime.
Well, yeah, that Godzilla can be considered
Anime
because that's the original Mega Godzilla,
right?
From the original movies,
and then not so known
again, Succession, People Pops,
anime, Marvel, anime, Marvel. I mean, so look, you could just kind of see like what
Invincible is not an anime.
No, I said Marvel, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
no,
Marvel.
It's not Marvel either. I don't think this is a.
Oh, I thought that was a Marvel
Cartoon Network show. I think.
I mean, so you can just kind of see like what their direction is this year. You know, every year I think there were somehow we're like, well, this is the year of anime. No. This is Marvel's year of the anime. Like there's nothing else for them.
I honestly think that's the majority of their damn licenses is anime right now.
I think so too, and I think we're going to see an overwhelming amount of like anime coming up here this year. It's so much so that I think that even the anime collectors will get tired of seeing it. is what I think.
Probably not wrong. Probably not wrong at all.
Yeah, I'm with Simon. I don't understand why they don't have anime NFTs either. If they're going to carry like soul NFT like lines this year, they should clearly have some like anime NFTs. But maybe like most anime companies are owned by I would assume companies that already do things like this, because anytime they're making an anime, and this is something that these companies do that no one else seems to do, they design it around making it a marketable item, right? So all of their characters are made to make into action figures. They're all made to be able to make to stickers. They're all made to look good as lunch boxes and backpacks. They think this out before they ever introduce this person to the show or to society, to whereas a lot of times Marvel and those companies didn't do that. A lot of the times they would make the character and then say, oh, well, let's turn it into an action figure. That's not always as easy done as you think. So anytime they make an anime, that it starts with that idea. Is it going to be able to make an action figure? How is it going to look as a sticker? How is it going to look as a backpack? Are you going to be able to cosplay it, because that's a big thing in anime? I mean, so there's so many things that like go into it before they do it. But I don't know what it is about this muscle mice. I kind of want me a muscle mice. I don't know what Demon Slayer is, or what's going on with this juiced up anabolic steroid
Oh,
mouse, but
GameStop's got exclusives again?
GameStop's had exclusives, but they just get significantly worse every time they make one. They just get significantly worse than the last one that they made. So I don't know what it is about that juiced up mouse. I kind of want him. I mean, maybe I can call him like Trin Mouse, or Trembolone, or Deca Mouse, or Anavar, or maybe I could give him a nice steroid name to put on there.
Let me ask you something real
What's up?
quick. And of course, us being that we talk a lot about Funko, but we kind of go all over the place with everything. Think about food for a second. And mind you, I'm not going to be needing to think about this after a couple more weeks, but would you try a soft serve waffle cone with vanilla, peanut butter, grape jelly, and strawberry basil sorbet in a waffle cone?
Probably not.
Ooh,
You
that's
lost me with
good.
it. You lost me with the sorbet.
Like a peanut butter and jelly
I
ice.
was with that until you said sorbet.
And then
I was
also, and this is one thing I'm surprised on. Another one was a vanilla soft serve with Barks red cream. Have you ever heard of Barks red cream soda?
no.
Dude, it is something of magic. The only time I ever had it is at the Coca-Cola Museum in Atlanta, Georgia,
Yeah, that's a great
and
place. I love it.
it was probably one of the best things I had. I don't know why they don't sell it all over the place, but these are just a small indication. Now, again, I maybe none of you guys are probably ever going to go to Disney in the next couple months, but they do have the flower and
I
garden
was
festival. And these items are some of the items that are actually going to
I
this.
was told with shrinkflation that all of the Disney characters were getting smaller this year.
Characters, no. I will vouch for that. Characters, no. Now, some of the food, Wayne knows his gear.
Maybe.
Good Lord. No. Now, some of these little items, of course, they go up in price, and they seem like you get a little bit less on these little festival items. But I think with me going into not being able to eat a lot, I could probably go with smaller portions, so I'm okay.
So look, the thing is though, you just don't quit eating everything. You just
No,
it's much smaller portions than the okay, so let me like level with everybody. I
mhm.
love sweets. I would not be
Okay,
involved in a
super.
sugar company if I didn't absolutely love candy. I love candy. But this is what I'm gonna say, because a lot of people are like, well, does it make it healthier? I don't know that it makes it healthier, but I significantly eat a lot less of it when it's freeze dried versus when it's not. I could eat an entire bag of Skittles in one sitting, regular Skittles. There's not a chance that I eat an entire bag of my freeze dried Skittles in one sitting. There's not a chance that I do it. It's just not happening. There's not a chance that I'm going to sit down and eat every one of these in one sitting. Not a
No,
singular
probably not.
chance. Not a sing now would I eat 4 or 5 or a handful? For sure. But the whole thing, to whereas if it was the other way, I could eat every one of them. And so there's a difference to it that I don't know makes it healthier, but it has to be because I'm eating less of it.
Well, and even it's not to say that when I do after I have my surgery, I'm not opposed to eating anything. Like I could probably have some freeze dried candies, but we're talking a couple. I gotta reduce as much sugar as possible. But and even regular food, I'm not able. But it's funny. It was my wife and I were having a conversation the other day because, of course, sometime later in the year we want to be able to take a cruise. So my wife comes to me and goes, "I'm actually kind of sad." I'm like, "Why?" She goes, because by the time you take your next cruise, you're not gonna be able to, indulge in the food that comes with taking a cruise. I said, you know what? I'm excited because it's a whole new world and a whole new mindset. I said, food isn't the only thing about a cruise that I love. So I can see it in a different way. I can see it in a different light. I can learn from it, and I can be able to share with people. Because she even realized the other day that there is not a market of people going to like Disney World or to amusement parks or to fairs that have a bariatric, surgery, and been able to show people you can still live your life and still be able to eat things. You just have to think about it in a different way.
Well, I was told that all of the Disney characters are getting smaller in shrinkflation. But
That I know for a fact ain't happening.
I was told that every one of them was getting
There's
smaller.
actually a thing at Disney, and I've only known this from talking to multiple different people. Is there is specific heights that
Oh no, I was told they're all changing.
Depending on the height you are, tells you which characters you can actually do. They have specific heights they can do. They, whether it's a guy or girl.
I checked mine. It's Cinderella.
Period. Huh?
I checked mine. It's Cinderella.
Possibly.
I checked mine. Said Cinderella was my character.
Oh.
Not Prince Charming. Not any of those. Cinderella.
You have the height for Cinderella?
Yeah.
Put a wig on you and you're good to go.
Good to go. You're right. I had to talk about shrinkflation for a minute. I was told that they're all getting smaller. Every one of them was getting smaller. I was told that the Mickey ice creams were significantly getting smaller. Like they were quarter size, maybe 2 bites. Maybe it was going to be 1 ear instead of 2 ears.
I just had a Mickey premium ice cream bar, which, by the way, is one of the most eaten foods in Walt Disney World.
It's going to be 1 ear instead of 2 now. It's 1 ear.
Mickey premium bar has not changed in size.
It's gonna be 1 ear.
You only get 1 ear. You only get 1 ear to bite.
1 ear. To get the other ear, you get.
It's a side view, so it's okay.
That's right.
It's a side view.
Side view of him. You got to look at it from this side.
Nah, there's definitely shrinkflation, but unfortunately, Disney's charging too much to not. And plus, and I'm sure they've done small things in different ways to account for that. But I think certain things they're watched way too much, and there's too many people that would just raise hell about it.
So what you got going on next week? Anything at all?
Absolutely nothing. We got to take a nice quiet weekend this weekend. I'm actually got mind you, it's an old video, but I've actually got a video I've been working on, which is a resort tour video. So I'm hoping to have that out possibly this weekend. So we'll see. It's about halfway done. And it's actually, for me, the opening that I did for this is different than any ones that I've done before, because when we stayed at this location a couple months back, I had time to be able to play with different things, and kind of, it's almost more of, I'm going to say this is a Wayne-esque type opening.
This one sounds fun.
So
this one will be fun.
It's not much. It's still very short, but it's a Wayne-esque type opening. So we'll see. So
make sure you check that video out when you
in the middle of working on it.
Oh, in the middle of where you got to get it uploaded. What do you mean in the middle of working on it?
Well, I'm still editing it right now. So like I said, I have it uploaded this week, and then next week and I'll tell you again, if you don't know already, I am going through bariatric surgery in 3 weeks, but 2 weeks before I have to be on a pre-surgery diet. So we are on the March 1st. We are actually going to the Florida Strawberry Festival as my last hurrah to go eat any fucking thing I want. Period.
Sounds like fun.
So we're gonna be a good place to end that out, but we'll see. But I'm excited. I'm not nervous by any means.
Have you been videoing any of this?
Not yet, because I haven't technically, until I get to the pre-surgery, I haven't really been doing it now. And maybe I should for some of the vitamins and stuff where I'm finding stuff, but it's hard to say that, hey, these are a good idea until I'm actually really into it, because I don't know if it is. I'm just kind of guessing at the moment. So,
well, I'm going to be starting a new TikTok channel.
What you got?
I'm going to be reading adult bedtime stories on TikTok. It was recommended from a few people that I read adult bedtime stories.
No, you got the voice for
That's what I was told by a few people is that.
So is this like, Fabio graphic novels, or
I think that's really what they.
articles
I think
from,
that's what these women were after, but
or
they
are we
said
talking like Playboy
adult bedtime
articles or something?
stories. Say what?
Or we talk about like Playboy articles or something. That makes there's a big window between that.
So there is a real like thing out there with adult bedtime stories,
I've
and
never
so
heard of it.
yes, so this young lady that lives up the road from me, she's really big TikToker. Been friends with my wife forever and ever and ever. I even think like my wife may have babysit her when she was a kid. I knew her husband for a really long time. Well, her ex-husband for a really long time. The last time we were live, she kind of popped in and then she started messaging my wife and she says, "Oh my God, I know what your husband should be doing." And so when I get off the live, Jess looks at me. She says, "I know what you should be doing." I said, what should I be doing?" She says, well, me and Jesse were talking. And I said, "Oh God, here we go. here we go."
That can't be a good start.
Yeah. I say, "Here we go." I said, "Well, what should I be doing with my life?" She says, "You should be reading adult bedtime stories."
I mean, there's got to be. I understand there's got to be a market for it because people want to read the stuff. They just don't got time to actually read it. I'm sure there's definitely a market for it, but I never heard about that.
So, I got it figured out, right? I get into the story about 10 minutes and then I say, "All right, now that everybody's gone, let's pull out 50 Shades of Grey."
I don't know.
Now that everybody's leaving you alone and it's peaceful, we bored everybody enough.
You got your headphones, your AirPods.
That's right.
In,
Are your headphones
and,
in? Your headphones in?
Yeah,
are you by yourself?
That's just like that. You were the first one that told me about. I never even heard about like mukbang or stuff like that. I'm like, yes. What in the hell?
Mukbangs.
People make up stuff.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with us.
Radio voice.
I don't know where. Definitely, new meaning to radio voice for sure. Anyways, guys, we appreciate y'all coming and hanging out. We will see y'all next time. Have a good one, guys.
Have a good one.
You guys are gonna have to put this in the description. I'm gonna leave this show tonight a little worse off, I think, quite honestly, than where we began. Everybody is watching this on the replay. You are now dumber and less important in life because of what has transpired here this evening. We apologize for what's going on right now. I'm gonna try to pretend like none of this happened.